In this video, I want to talk about training one of the biggest weapons in tennis that most people don't train. So what is this weapon I speak of? Is it the forehand? Is it the serve? Is it coming to the net and finishing the point off? No, it's none of those things. It's speed. Speed is one of the biggest weapons that tennis players can have. If you look at all the best players in the world, they are ridiculously fast around court. Like, how would you possibly go about beating Djokovic? How would you possibly go about beating Nadal or Medvedev or these players that move so ridiculously quickly? Because they get to absolutely everything. If they had the strokes that they had, but they were nowhere near as quick, they wouldn't even be in the top 1,000. Being fast is absolutely essential for being good at tennis. We spend very little time hitting the ball. We spend way more time moving to and from the ball. Your movement and your speed around court is one of the biggest weapons that you can have. When it comes to becoming faster around court, there are a few different things that you can do and a few different things that you can work on. So I'm going to quickly explain what they are. Okay, so the first thing that you can do to be faster is to train your vision. This might sound strange, but a lot of being quick is about responding quick visually. The faster you can read where the ball's going, the faster you can react. And it's actually the easiest way to improve. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about in a moment, like increasing your core strength and increasing your leg strength, yes, they can have an impact, but way less of an impact than improving the speed of your visual processing. Because if the ball is already on your side of the net before you react, there's no amount of making your legs stronger that can compensate for that. Train your visual system, get a little bit quicker, it's going to make a world of difference. To help you with that, I've got a free program. I'll place a link down there and I'll place a link up there. Spend 5 minutes a day working on it. It's going to be really beneficial. The next thing that you can do to train the weapon of speed is work on your footwork and the technique of your footwork. Now, obviously, the first piece of the puzzle is going to be your split step. The timing of the split step is going to be key. I'll place a link down in the description to a video that's going to go into detail on that. And then the way that you actually do your split step is also going to be key. The quick version is nice and wide so that then you've got a better base and center of gravity to push off so you can react and move in different directions. But again, I'll place a link down below that's going to go into a lot more detail about training your split step. From there, we've got the specific footwork patterns. So you want to practice moving to balls that are a little bit closer. You want to practice moving to wider balls. You want to practice the technique of covering the net. They're all very specific footwork patterns. And by working on those footwork patterns, you will be much faster to the ball. And then of course we get to number 3, which is going to be increasing your strength. If you increase your core strength, in order for us to produce power, we need a strong, stable core. So there's a lot of options and resources out there that can help you to develop your core strength. Increasing your leg strength can be really important because if you can impart more force into the ground, you can push off quicker. So that's something that you can work on. One of the key pieces to the leg strength is actually going to be working on your feet and working on your ankles, because in order to split step well, you need to have decent strength in your feet and ankles. Doing a split step on every single shot, landing on the ball of your feet and trying to react quickly can be a bit of an injury risk. So increasing the strength of your feet and ankles can be really important to give you that stable base to push off. The final thing that you can work on to develop your speed is going to be to work on plyometric training. So if you don't know what plyometric training is, it's basically bounding and jumping exercises. The idea of plyometric training is that you land, it creates a stretch reflex, and by creating the stretch reflex you can land and you can react faster. The reason I've listed this as 4th is because this is really a kind of a high level thing to train on. So it isn't something that I would necessarily recommend for most people, especially if you don't have much experience lifting weights and especially if you're not strong. Like tennis itself is plyometric. Every time you land from your split step, that is a plyometric movement. And that's why what I've said a moment ago, you need to kind of work on your strength and make sure that you're safe and able to do this training before you take advantage of it. I find that a lot of the time there's a lot of kind of fitness coaches out there recommending, big bounding exercises and, jumping over hurdles and landing and reacting. And these things definitely have a place, but they tend to get overutilized by a lot of people. It's much more sensible to work on the other stuff first. So train your visual system, work on your technique, which is going to be a footwork technique, which is going to be lower level plyometric work anyway. Work on increasing your strength, so core stability, leg strength, strength in the ankles, and then once you've had a period of time doing that, then start to consider the plyometric training.